2 weeks before my wedding, I found my fiancé in bed with my maid of honor. Not a stranger. Not some random hookup. My best friend since college. I stood in that doorway, frozen, watching my entire future collapse in real time. And you know what I did? I closed the door, quietly, walked to my car, drove home, and I didn't say a single word, because I had a better idea. See? We'd already sent out 300 invitations, paid for the venue, locked in the catering, my dress was hanging in my closet, his tuxedo was ready, and I decided we were still getting married. Well, sort of. What happened on that altar? In front of our families, our friends, and everyone who thought we were the perfect couple. Let's just say he didn't see it coming, and neither did she. Stick around. Because this wedding, nobody's ever going to forget it. Hey everyone, if you've ever been betrayed by someone you trusted completely, if you've ever fantasized about the perfect revenge, this story is going to be incredibly satisfying. It's about betrayal, humiliation, and the sweet justice of making someone face the consequences of their actions in the most public way possible. Hit that like button, subscribe if you want more stories like this, and drop a comment telling me, what would you have done in my situation? Now, let me take you back to where this all started. My name is Natalie, and for 3 years I thought I'd found my person. His name was Ryan. Tall, charming, successful. He worked in finance, made good money, had that easy confidence that made everyone like him instantly. We met at a mutual friend's birthday party, hit it off immediately, and within 6 months, we were inseparable. Everyone said we were perfect together. The kind of couple people envied. We had the same sense of humor, the same goals, the same vision for our future. 2 kids, a house in the suburbs, traveling every summer. After 2 years of dating, he proposed. Rooftop restaurant, sunset, down on one knee with a ring that took my breath away. I said yes before he even finished asking. Planning the wedding was everything I'd dreamed of. We booked a beautiful venue, this elegant garden estate with string lights and a gazebo overlooking a lake. 300 guests, live band, 5-tier cake. I'd been planning this day since I was a little girl. My maid of honor? My best friend, Jenna. Jenna and I met freshman year of college. Roommates who became inseparable. She was the first person I called when Ryan proposed. She cried happy tears, helped me pick out my dress, organized my bachelorette party. She was like a sister to me. Ryan loved her too. The 3 of us hung out all the time. Double dates, game nights. She was dating this guy Marcus for about a year, and the 4 of us were always together. Everything felt perfect. And then, 2 weeks before the wedding, I came home early from a work trip. I wasn't supposed to be back until the next day. My conference ended early. I caught an earlier flight. I texted Ryan that I'd be home by 8 p.m., but my phone died on the plane, so the message never sent. I walked into our apartment around 7:30. The lights were dim. Music was playing softly in the bedroom. I thought maybe he'd planned something romantic. A surprise welcome home, I smiled. Kicked off my heels. Walked down the hallway toward our bedroom. The door was cracked open, and that's when I heard it. Her laugh. Jenna's laugh. Breathy, intimate, unmistakable. My stomach dropped. I pushed the door open, and there they were, in our bed, tangled in our sheets, his hands on her head thrown back. They didn't even notice me at first. I stood there, silent, frozen. And then Ryan looked up. His face went white. Absolutely white. Natalie, Jenna scrambled to cover herself. Oh my God, Nat, I didn't scream, didn't cry, didn't move. I just stared. My mind was racing. But my body felt like it was underwater, slow, heavy, numb. Ryan stumbled out of bed, pulling on his boxers, hands up like he was approaching a wild animal. Natalie, please. Let me explain. It's not what it looks like. I finally found my voice. Quiet, eerily calm. How long? Silence, and how long? Jenna's eyes filled with tears. Nat, I'm so sorry. I never meant for this to... How long, Jenna? She looked at Ryan. He looked at the floor. 6 months, she whispered. 6 months. Half a year. While I was planning our wedding. While she was helping me pick out my dress. While we were all laughing and drinking wine and pretending to be best friends. Something inside me snapped. Not loudly. Not dramatically. But something fundamental. Broke. I turned around. Walked out of the bedroom. Grabbed my purse. Walked out of the apartment. Ryan called after me. Natalie, wait! Please, just let me... I slammed the door. Sat in my car. Hands shaking. Heart pounding. And then... I started thinking. I didn't go back to the apartment that night. I checked into a hotel. Lay in bed staring at the ceiling, replaying everything, every double date. Every time they'd texted, every time she'd hugged him just a little too long. How had I not seen it? My phone was blowing up. Texts from Ryan, calls from Jenna, voicemails begging me to talk to them. I ignored all of it. And I started planning. See, here's the thing. The wedding was in 2 weeks. Everything was paid for. Non-refundable deposits. 300 guests already RSVP'd. My family had flown in from across the country. His parents had rented a beach house for the week. Canceling the wedding would mean losing tens of thousands of dollars. It would mean explaining to everyone why it was off. Humiliation, pity, everyone feeling sorry for me. And Ryan and Jenna? They'd get to slink away quietly, maybe feel guilty for a few months, maybe not even that long. That wasn't justice. That wasn't enough. I wanted them to feel what I felt. I wanted everyone who loved them, respected them, admired them, to see exactly who they really were. So I made a decision. The wedding was still happening, and I was going to make damn sure it was unforgettable. The next morning, I called Ryan. He answered on the first ring. Natalie, thank God. Please, just let me... I'm coming home. We need to talk. Yes, of course. I'm so sorry, Nat. I never wanted to hurt you. It was a mistake. A huge, terrible mistake. I let him grovel for a minute. Then I said, voice flat, the wedding is still happening. Silence. What? We've already paid for everything. Everyone's expecting it. Calling it off now would be humiliating for both of us. So we're going through with it. Natalie, are you serious? Dead serious. But we need to set some ground rules. I could hear the relief in his voice. The disbelief. He actually thought I was going to forgive him. Okay. Whatever you need. You end things with Jenna. Immediately. You tell her it was a mistake and it's over. Done. Absolutely. You don't contact her. You don't see her. She's not coming to the wedding. Of course not, God, no. I'll tell her right now. And you act like the perfect fiancé for the next 2 weeks. You do everything I ask. You smile. You play the part. You make everyone believe we're madly in love. I will. I promise. Good. Because if you don't, I'll make sure everyone knows what you did. Your family, your coworkers, your boss, everyone. A pause. Then quietly. Understood. I hung up. And I smiled for the first time in 24 hours. Because he actually thought I was going to marry him. The next 2 weeks were surreal. Ryan played his part perfectly. Doting fiancé, apologetic, attentive. He brought me flowers, cooked me dinner, held my hand in public. I played mine too. Smiling bride, excited, glowing. Inside, I was a storm. But outside, I was calm, collected, in control. I told Jenna, via text, that she was no longer my maid of honor, that she was uninvited from the wedding, that I never wanted to see her again. She responded with paragraphs of apologies, explanations, justifications. I didn't read any of them. My new maid of honor? My cousin Adriana. She didn't know the full story. Nobody did. I told everyone that Jenna had a family emergency and couldn't make it. Behind the scenes, I was working. I hired a private investigator. Got everything, photos, texts, hotel receipts, a timeline of their entire affair, 6 months of lies, documented in excruciating detail. I contacted the AV company handling our wedding, made a special request, paid extra for a custom video montage to be played during the reception. They thought it was a sweet surprise for Ryan. It was a surprise, all right. I also reached out to a lawyer, drew up an ironclad postnuptial agreement, made sure that if we did get married, I'd be protected. But I wasn't planning on getting married. I was planning something much better. The morning of the wedding, I woke up in a hotel suite surrounded by my bridesmaids, hair and makeup, mimosas, laughter. I looked at myself in the mirror. White dress, veil, bouquet. I looked like every bride's dream. And I felt nothing. No, that's not true. I felt powerful. The ceremony was at 4 p.m. garden venue. Rows of white chairs, string lights, flowers everywhere. It was absolutely beautiful. 300 guests. Ryan's family, my family, friends, co-workers, everyone who mattered to us. I walked down the aisle on my father's arm. He squeezed my hand, whispered, "You look so happy, sweetheart." I smiled. Ryan was waiting at the altar. He looked nervous, pale, but he smiled when he saw me. The officiant began, "Dearly beloved, we are gathered here today." I barely heard the words. My heart was pounding, not from nerves, from anticipation. We got through the vows. Ryan's voice shook a little. Mine was steady, and then came the moment. "If anyone has any reason why these two should not be wed, speak now or forever hold your peace." Silence. I looked at Ryan, looked at the officiant, and I spoke. "Actually, I do." The entire venue went silent. Ryan's face went from confused to horrified. "Natalie, what?" I turned to face the crowd, held up my hand. My voice was calm, clear, projected. "I'm sorry, everyone. I know this is unusual, but before we go any further, there's something you all need to know." Whispers, confused glances. Ryan's mother looked like she was about to faint. I pulled out my phone, connected it to the venue's Bluetooth speaker system, something I'd arranged with the AV team earlier. 2 weeks ago, I came home early from a work trip, and I found Ryan in our bed with my maid of honor, Jenna. Gasps, audible, collective gasps. Ryan's face went white. "Natalie, don't..." They'd been having an affair for 6 months, while we were planning this wedding, while I was picking out my dress, while Jenna was pretending to be my best friend. Someone in the crowd said, "Oh my God." I looked at Ryan. His hands were shaking. I thought about canceling the wedding, but then I realized, why should I be the one who's humiliated? Why should I be the one who loses money, explains to everyone, deals with the pity? I pressed play on my phone. The speakers crackled to life. And then, their voices, text message screenshots, projected onto the screen behind the altar, the one that was supposed to show our love story slideshow. "Ryan, I can't stop thinking about last night." "Jenna, me neither. When can I see you again?" "Ryan, Natalie's working late tomorrow. Come over at 8. More texts, scrolling, dozens of them. "Jenna, do you think she knows?" "Ryan, no, she's clueless." "Jenna, I feel bad sometimes." "Ryan, don't. We'll figure it out after the wedding." The crowd was in shock. People were standing, pointing. Ryan's father stood up, face red with fury. "Ryan, what the hell?" Ryan tried to grab my phone. "Natalie, stop!" I stepped back. Security, also arranged ahead of time, stepped between us. I kept going. Here's my favorite part. A video, taken by the private investigator, Ryan and Jenna, entering a hotel, holding hands, kissing in the parking lot. Timestamp, 3 days ago, 3 days before our wedding, even after he'd promised it was over. Ryan's mother started crying. His sister screamed at him. My father looked like he wanted to murder someone. Ryan fell to his knees. "Natalie, please, I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. I love you. I made a mistake. I looked down at him. This man I'd loved. This man I'd trusted. This man I'd planned a life with. And I felt nothing. No, Ryan. You made a choice. Over and over again. For 6 months. I turned to the crowd. I'm not marrying him, obviously. But I wanted you all to be here. Because you deserve to know who he really is. And so did his family. I looked at his parents. His mother was sobbing. His father looked destroyed. I'm sorry you had to find out this way. But your son is a liar and a cheat. And Jenna, I raised my voice. I know you're watching this. Someone's live streaming it, and I hope it was worth it. I pulled off my veil, dropped my bouquet, and I walked down the aisle, head high, shoulders back. The crowd parted like the Red Sea. Behind me, chaos erupted, shouting, crying, Ryan calling my name. I didn't look back. I walked straight to the parking lot, got into the limo I'd hired, just for me, and I drove away from that wedding with the biggest smile on my face. The fallout was immediate. Within an hour, the video had spread. Someone's live stream went viral, millions of views, comments pouring in, news outlets picked it up. Bride exposes cheating fiancé at altar. Wedding day revenge goes viral. Ryan's phone number got leaked somehow. He had to change it, twice. Jenna deleted all her social media. Went into hiding. Ryan's job? He worked at a prestigious financial firm, very image conscious, very family values. They fired him 3 days later. Not reflective of company standards. His family disowned him. His mother called me personally to apologize, told me she was ashamed of her son. My family? They threw me a party, literally, a dodged a bullet party with champagne and a cake that said, "Best decision ever." The wedding venue refunded half my deposit as a courtesy. The story was such good publicity for them. They looked sympathetic. I kept the ring, sold it, used the money to take my real friends on a trip to Italy. Best vacation of my life. Ryan tried to reach out a few months later. Long rambling email about how sorry he was, how he'd learned and grown, how he hoped we could find closure. I didn't respond. Last I heard, he's working some low-level sales job. Living with a roommate, single. Jenna? She moved to another state, far away from anyone who knew her. I heard through mutual friends that she and Ryan tried to make it work after everything. They broke up after 2 months. Apparently, when your entire relationship is built on lies and betrayal, it doesn't have a strong foundation. Who knew? As for me, I'm thriving. I got promoted at work. Bought my own place. Started dating again, very carefully this time. And you know what the best part is? I don't regret a single thing. People ask me if I feel bad about humiliating Ryan in front of everyone. If maybe I went too far. And here's my answer. He humiliated me privately for 6 months. I just made sure the truth came out publicly for 6 minutes. If he didn't want to be exposed as a cheater, he shouldn't have cheated, simple as that. Sometimes the best revenge isn't staying silent. It's making absolutely sure that everyone knows the truth. Ryan thought he could have his cake and eat it too. Instead, he got served a 5-tier reality check in front of 300 people. And honestly, he deserved every second of it. If this story gave you chills, hit that like button, subscribe for more real revenge stories, and tell me in the comments, was I justified? Or did I go too far? I want to hear your thoughts. And if you've ever gotten revenge on a cheater, drop your story below. I read every single one. Thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next one.